On this edition of Caps 13 News, one PSU event gives students a chance to share their issues anonymously. Plus, a Pitt State alumni comes back to campus to sign his new book. And one club celebrates Pride Month with an annual show. All that and more coming up on Caps 13 News.
Thanks for joining us for this edition of Caps 13 News. I'm Zachary Hart.
And I'm Caleb Withno. Pittsburg State Students for Violence Prevention host the Room of Secrets as part of Sexual Assault Awareness and Prevention Month. The Room of Secrets allows students to anonymously share their own secrets or trauma. Students can use dry erase boards or sticky notes to write down their own secrets or encourage others. Upon exiting, an SVP member will ask visitors how they feel and if they need help or counsel from the campus victim advocate. Resources for visitors will also be available from an information table.
There was a need on campus to kind of bring sexual assault into the forefront of conversations because it's kind of something colleges shy away from talking about. So the Room of Secrets came about to offer support for victims and survivors because we weren't seeing that in our community. So this was a way for us to reach out for them, let them share their stories, and then offer support.
The Room of Secrets is held in the Heartland Room of the Overman Student Center. For more information can be found on the PSU website at pittstate.edu.
Former PSU student David P. Oakley visits the Gorilla Bookstore to sign his new book. A former CIA officer, Oakley's new book, Subordinating Intelligence, covers the history between the CIA and the Department of Defense since the early 80s. Oakley is currently an assistant professor at the National Defense University in Washington, D.C. He credits his time at Pittsburg State University for part of his current success.
I came here as an 18-year-old, and this really kind of shaped me intellectually as a person from both my professors and then just people in the community. And to me, Pittsburgh's home, and I have a deep fondness and affinity for both the university and the people associated with the university.
Coordinating Intelligence can be found in the Gorilla Bookstore on campus.
The second largest construction expo in the country takes place at the Tech Center. Pitt State hosted the third annual Construction Expo. The 2019 Expo is the largest they've had to date. The event is a great opportunity for vendors and students to network and find out what the construction field has to offer. The coordinator for the event, Seth O'Brien, says attending an expo of this scale, it usually would cost an arm and a leg to go. He also says that students learn not only about building things, but also about the management and business side of construction as well. For more information on the construction program at Pitt State, visit www.pittstate.edu/construction.
PSU's Prison Club celebrates Pride Month with many events throughout the month, including its annual drag show.
Caps 13's Vanessa Tapia has more.
Prison's goal is to have a safe place on campus for people who identify as LGBTQ or support LGBTQ to come together and have fun. They've been fundraising all year to put this event together. Morgan Singletary is the president of PRISM. She tells us more on the behind the scenes of putting this show together.
February, we had contacted some local queens in Joplin to come down and perform in our annual drag show. We found some really cool people. They're here tonight. We've been practicing since last month, having practices here in the U Club and at our apartment, working it together, finding student performers. So it's been a crazy couple of weeks, these last few weeks.
Performers lip-synced to songs while performing a pre-planned dance. The crowd was very excited and entertained all night. Jaden Alexis started performing as a drag queen 8 years ago in Joplin, Missouri. She tells us more of her favorite moments of the night.
I like messing with the new performers. The people that are just their first time here at the show, they're always so nervous to see someone or to have them walk up. So for me to bust that bubble, it's just awesome. I think picking my number 1, 2, and 3, which is just people that we pull up on stage and they don't even know it, and we make them do some random stuff like dance or walk around in heels or anything like that.
If you'd like to join PRISM in celebrating Pride Month, their last event is called Pride Prom. It will be held on April 24th at 7 p.m. at Dillinger Underground. For Caps 13 News, I'm Vanessa Tapia.
Coming up on Caps 13, staff members of a campus publication bring home several awards, how it helps them improve their craft.
Plus, a reenactment camp on a historical site is right around the corner. What visitors can experience. We'll be right back.
I'm always the first one up. I'm always up for a challenge. I'll overcome any obstacle. I don't believe in limits. I refuse to be average.
Hey Guerrilla Nation, this is Stu Height, Chief of Police here at Pittsburg State. Hope you're off to a great semester, and we want to just give you a couple of reminders of how to take care of your valuables. Please don't ever leave them unattended for any length of time at all. We live on a very safe campus and a very safe community, but you can never be too safe. So if you ever need anything, if you have any questions, any concerns about anything ranging from parking or just safety and security, please feel free to call us anytime, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Go Guerrillas!
The skills you can develop in the Army National Guard can give you an edge in the high-tech job market of tomorrow. The Guard offers career training to take advantage of your interests in science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. Gain practical experience with emerging technology and equipment that you can transfer to an exciting new field. Get a head start on your career while serving part-time and earning money to pay for college. Visit NationalGuard.com to learn about all of the STEM career opportunities available to you in the Army National Guard.
Pitt State's campus student-ran newspaper, The Collegio, attended the Kansas Collegiate Media Conference recently, bringing home some well-earned rewards.
Brianna Price gives us a look at the conference.
Staff members of the Pitt State newspaper, The Collegio, attended the Kansas Collegiate Media Conference in Wichita recently. The conference included workshops with various speakers, a photo shootout contest, an awards banquet, and 2 keynote speakers.
I think it's really awesome. I think it's a good way to get real-life experience as a student, because I know sometimes even if you're involved in some things on campus, it's still maybe hard to get other experience. So it's really cool, and also it's just a good way to bond with your other fellow peers and students. So it's a really great opportunity.
Award categories ranged from page design to news writing to videography. The Collegio brought home 18 total awards.
I think it's a super awesome opportunity. I think that hopefully most schools allow their students this opportunity, because I think it's really beneficial for students, especially those who are interested in journalism, to get this experience and be able to network and get better experiences in their future because of it.
I really enjoy it. It's kind of cool to be able to experience new things and travel to a different place and learn about it, as well as hear from people who are actually in the field and get kind of some of their firsthand knowledge and experience and learn about it.
For CAPS 13, I'm Brianna Morey Price.
The 37th Annual Civil War Encampment will be held on April 27th and 28th at Fort Scott National Historic Site in Fort Scott, Kansas. The visitor will see infantry soldiers marching and drilling, and artillery soldiers firing the cannon, and the cavalry performing drills on horseback. Medical personnel will explain their work during the Civil War. Women and children will be there representing their roles at the fort, doing handwork and playing games. When asked what is special about the Civil War Encampment weekend, Park Ranger Barry Gearstein replied,
"It helps bring the fort to life. So by having the Civil War soldiers in here, it helps tell their story, and hopefully they come away with an understanding of not just the courage it took to be a soldier, but also the sacrifice."
For more information and the schedule of the weekend events, go to nps.gov/FOSC.
Coming up in sports on CAPS 13.
Plus, I'll have more after the break.
Vision loss is not something that you feel until it happens.
Most people lose their vision from diseases like macular degeneration and glaucoma, not at birth.
3 million Americans have glaucoma, and half don't even know it.
11 million people in the United States have macular degeneration.
So many eye disorders can be treated if caught early.
Make a plan today to get your eyes checked.
Visit brightfocus.org to learn more.
Why should people go fishing? Fishing is one of the greatest gifts that we have ever received from Mother Nature. This is one of the many chances we have to reconnect ourselves to the natural world. Mother Nature has given us a great opportunity to learn about the many things about fishing that will never be forgotten. If we introduce a relative to the wonders of fishing, we will always cherish the memories that we make when we catch a fish with them.
Schools from Kansas, Missouri, Oklahoma, and Arkansas came to Carney Smith Stadium this past Friday for a track meet featuring around 1,400 high school student athletes. The track meet was put on by the athletic department, and I talked with members of the Pitt State coaching staff, track coaching staff, for more details on how this event happened and who benefited from it the most. This past Friday, the Pitt State Athletic Department put on a high school track meet for teams both near and far away from Pittsburgh at the Jock Snitch Guerrilla Relays. Over 55 different high schools brought athletes to compete in this event, and I talked with Pitt State track and field head coach Rush Jewett on who really is responsible for making this event go so smoothly.
Most of it really is done by our student athletes. It's a fundraiser for us, so all of the proceeds that we get from the entry fees we use in our budget to help us supplement. The physical plant, we rely on our physical plant a lot for all of the setup and the, getting the stadium ready and things like that.
I also talked with assistant coach and meet director Brian Mantooth, and he says that he feels the importance of these Pittsburgh State student athletes helping far exceeds just setting up a few hurdles.
This is a good way for our athletes to get back to the sport of track and field and mentor and nurture these young freshmen, sophomores, juniors, seniors,
Asked Coach Jewett what he feels the impact on Pitt State recruiting is with this event, and he was hesitant to say it was impactful on his team's recruiting and suggested it had a greater impact for Pittsburgh State as a school.
And so some of those may end up coming to Pitt State and being in our program, but that would be a very small percentage of the overall 1,400. I think it's just a great recruiting event for Pittsburgh State. There were just under 1,400 high school students here, so 1,400 prospective students, and the vast majority of them having a great experience.
I asked Coach Mantooth about what he feels like is the most beneficial thing this tournament provides to these young student athletes. His answer was the unique state championship-like atmosphere that their facilities and personnel provide.
Sometimes they've never been to a big facility, or they're like, whoa, this is big. Well, because that's not typical at a high school place. And it's just good for these young people to get onto our campus and see what Pittsburgh State's all about.
Coach Jewett says outside of a few technical glitches, he's very satisfied with how the track meet went, and he feels that this event definitely boosted the community and economy around Pittsburgh.
Almost nothing but very positive comments from coaches, from student athletes. Again, I'm just really proud of our student athletes for doing such a great job. I think it really reflected well on Pittsburgh State, really brought a lot of money into the region with all those kids are going to eat somewhere, but I think it was a little bit of a shot in the arm economically for Pittsburgh as well.
Both Coach Mantooth and Coach Jewett implored that while the first people that get thanked are the members of the athletic department, that they could not do it without the help from the physical plant workers, local sponsors, and all the volunteers from around the community who helped run events. For Cats 13 Sports, I'm Caleb Withnow. Shifting gears now, the Pitt State softball team took the diamond this Tuesday for a doubleheader against the Bearcats of Southwest Baptist. Now is right there behind home plate to bring you the action. Let's jump right in. The start of this game could be considered a bit of a drag for fans who prefer high-octane offensive power, as both teams were deadlocked in a scoreless pitcher's duel through the first 3 innings of play. However, that would change in the bottom of the 4th when the Grills drew the first blood. Down to their last out of the inning, Kayla Holder would keep the Grills alive with the base on balls, which brought up the power hitter Katie Kikowski to the plate as a junior from Malaysia slapped an opposite field home run, breaking the deadlock between the two sides. As the second baseman rewarded the great plate discipline from Holder with 2 runs would cross the plate, giving PSU the first lead of the game. Now SPU would grab one in the top of the 5th, but the Grills answered. As we now jump to the bottom of the 5th, where the Grills would manufacture 4 runs in the inning. The rally started with Madison Wenger hitting a ball in the gap that would roll all the way to the fence, which would be good enough to score Alicia Lowry all the way around the diamond from first base. With the defense focused on Lowry, Wenger would end up at third base with the one-out triple. Drew Collins would then hit home. Wenger with the single to right, sending Mackenzie Goswick up to the plate with one on, two out, and the junior from Joplin, Missouri was ready as she crushed a 2-run bomb over the left field fence, scoring herself and Drew Collins to bring the PSU lead to 6 runs. The Bearcats would have no answer after the home run from Goswick. The girls would coast home to victory over Southwest Baptist in Game 1. With that, the Gorillas captured a convincing 6-2 victory over the Bearcats. While the Gorilla bats were excellent, you can't ignore the masterful pitching performance by Hallie Brand, as she would throw a complete game, tossing 7 full innings, allowing 3 hits and no earned runs. Katie Kikowski would be the Gorillas' top bat, as she went 1 for 2 with the home run and 2 RBIs. Now let's take you right to Game 2 to see how the Gorillas and Bearcats fared in the second half of the doubleheader. Shelby Smith would take the circle for the Gorillas, and while Game 1 took a few innings to develop, Game 2 was just the opposite. As the leadoff hitter Drew Collins would take first on a walk, Allie Goot would grab an infield single to third, and Alicia Lowry would drop a high-arcing bloop single to right field as the first 4 batters of the inning got on safely to load the bases for cleanup hitter Kayla Holder. No stage is too big for the junior from Olathe, as Holder sits on the very first pitch and plasters a no-doubter over the right field fence for the grand slam. The 4-bagger for Kayla Holder would net 4 runs for the Gorillas, as Holder's 8th home run of the year gives the Gorillas an absolute dream start to the contest. The Gorillas weren't done yet, however, as they seemed to like that whole 4-run inning thing, as they did it again in the third. They scored 4 runs off of 3 hits. Now trailing 8-0 in the top of the 4th, SBU tried to get some juice going as Corey Hillenberg took a shot deep to center, but she would get no other help from her teammates. And now, however, in the next half inning, despite the big lead, Kayla Holder was not going to let the Bearcats' home run go unanswered, as the third baseman absolutely tattoos a drive to left center field. It took Holder a bit to realize before promptly running the bases, as the slugger launched her 9th home run of the season and the second on the day into the cedar trees behind the left field fence. Holder's home run kept the Gorillas' lead at 8, allowing the Gorillas to cut this game 2 innings short, ending the 5th inning on a mercy rule. Fueled by two 4-run innings, the Gorillas took a commanding 9-1 victory over the Bearcats in the 5th inning. Shelby Smith was the winning pitcher after a stellar 5 innings, 4 hits, and 1 earned run that gave the Gorillas offense every chance to dominate this game. Kayla Holder was undoubtedly the top Gorilla bat, as she went 2 for 3 for 5 RBIs, as both her home hits were home runs. Softball wasn't the only action on the diamond this week, as Pittsburg State baseball traveled to Springdale, Arkansas to face the Bulldogs of Arkansas State in an out-of-conference matchup. Pittsburg State would prevail with the final score of 9-3 as Corey Hott would pick up the win with 2 innings pitched, giving up 2 hits and 0 earned runs. John Oliver hit a grand slam in the game that lifted the Gorillas to victory as he went 1 for 3 with 5 RBIs and a home run. In other quick news, Jordan Burks received MIAA Track Athlete of the Week honors for his first-place performance in the 110-meter hurdles at the Gorilla Classic on Saturday. Also, the baseball team will host the Griffins of Missouri Western tonight at 6 in Al Ordelani Field. We'll be right back after the break.
Caps 13 Sports works tirelessly to bring Gorilla athletics to your living room. But when the university heads heard about the lice epidemic spreading into the area, they elected to bring in an expert.
Good luck, man.
Oh, hey, what's up, Doc? Is everything okay?
I've got a lot of things on my mind. Some things might make you laugh, some things might make you cry, some things might even compromise national security. Why is the internet so obsessed with cats? Hashtag dogs are better. Sorry, but it's true. I can't wait for my trip to Vegas this weekend. Hashtag Friday can't get here fast enough. Have a nice trip. I hate my job. My boss is such a Oh, crap.
Now it's time for our cinema guru to give us the lowdown on this week's movies.
So Zane, what was on this week?
Well, this week I saw The Missing Link and Little. One I thought was good, the other was not so good. Starting with what I didn't like, Little, directed by Tina Gordon, was kind of like bland. Anytime all of the highlights of the film are in the trailer, the film is often not too good. Little is about a kid named Jordan Sanders, played by Marcia Martin, that gets bullied in high school and decides when she grows up, and her grown-up version was played by Regina Hall, she is going to be a boss and a bully to everyone else. A little girl then casts a spell on Jordan to make her 13 again. Now Jordan and her assistant April, played by Issa Rae, have to figure out a way to run the company and turn Jordan back to normal. The jokes in the trailer were extremely funny and landed extremely well in the context of the movie. However, the other comedy moments felt awkward and forced. The storyline didn't really stand out, the plot was very predictable, and the characters weren't interesting in the slightest. Rotten Tomatoes gave it a 46%, IMDb gave it a 5.5 out of 10. Audiences gave it a 79%. I gave it a 5 out of 10. If you're in the target audience of this movie, you'll probably enjoy the film more than I did. Now, turning to The Missing Link, written and directed by Chris Butler, was a pleasant surprise. I went in the movie thinking that it would be very superficial and geared towards kids. The film turned out to be very interesting and had a sarcasm to it that was funny to adults and kids alike. The Missing Link is about an adventurer named Sir Lionel Frost, voiced by Hugh Jackman, who is attempting to get into like this Adventurer Hall of Fame, but doesn't get in due to lack of proof. He then ventures out to find the Sasquatch, but instead he finds Susan, voiced by Zach Galifianakis, a lonely and literate wild beast. The two then embark on a journey to find Susan's missing kinsman. The Missing Link was fantastic. The claymation was done very well. The story was driving. The characters had a great development and great energy. The moral premise of the story was captivating in a way I really didn't expect. Rotten Tomatoes gave it a 90%. IGN gave it an 8 out of 10. Audiences gave it a 71%, and it's an 8 out of 10 for me. I really enjoyed this movie, and most fans of animation would agree with me. And this has been a movie review with your cinema guru.
Thanks, Zane. That does it for this week's edition of Caps 13 News.
Also, visit us on Facebook at the Caps 13 Pittsburg State, at Caps 13 Pittsburg State University. Stay tuned to Caps 13 for more great programming.